Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I am Coach Rice, your host, and I want you to make sure that you tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where I have my special guest on to talk about real issues that matter. And I want you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook Live, my business Facebook page, also on the Be Awesome Network. Stay tuned. I think you're going to really like this next guest.
Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice. It's a brand new week, the sun's shining bright, a chance to cast your net, step into the light. Life's full of challenges, it's a winding stream, but with Coach Rice, you'll find your dream.
Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I'm your host, Coach Rice, and with me I have Blanche DiDomenico with me, and she is a nurse, case manager, life coach, author, and speaker. So I tell you what, let's do a deep dive and find out who is Blanche. So Blanche, tell us where you're from.
Hi,
And how
Martha.
did you embark upon your journey as a life coach?
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. First of all, thank you, Martha, for having me. This is such a pleasure. And thank you for this amazing platform you have. I know it will impact a lot. So, my name is Blanche DiDomenico. I am originally born and raised from the Philippines. And I came here to the United States in 2010. So that was 15 years ago. I'm married to my husband, Troy, of 15 years. We have three boys. I graduated in 2005 with a bachelor's degree in nursing in the Philippines, came here, also practiced as a nurse. And then I have a diverse clinical background. I did palliative care, oncology, nursing, med surg, labor and delivery, and then transitioned to hospice nursing, which is very dear to my heart. Eventually, I became a certified case manager. And since 2018, I've been working with a big insurance company here in the US. So I do work at home. And since 2018, and that is such a blessing. But with your question about transitioning to life coaching, I don't know if you know who Myron Golden is. I just
No, I
stumbled.
don't.
Okay, so he's a Christian business coach, and he really ignited something in me. And when I was listening to him about what God has given us, we have gifts and talents. Of course, I was already busy, right? I have three boys. Was working full time. I have, of course, my husband and a dog, and I also have a very small baking business. But
Oh,
when I
wow.
yeah, crazy busy, but one day when I did the certification for life coaching, it really just, when it clicks, it's like, wow, because I went through a lot growing up, and I'm just gonna share a little bit. And I said, you
Absolutely.
know what? I can really, I know God is using me to help others. Can provide value because I went through a lot. So, telling you about, I was from the Philippines. My life there was not easy. I grew up in poverty. I grew up, my dad was working in Saudi Arabia, so I didn't really grow up with him because he works there. He comes home maybe every 2 years. So he worked there since I was 10 months old. So I didn't really grow up much with my dad. And then my mom, she worked as a midwife. And because of the problem of poverty and scarcity and all that, unfortunately, she has a lot of anger and she kind of brought it towards me. So I went through a lot of physical, verbal, emotional abuse since I was 4. So fast forward because it's kind of long, but since I was 18, my parents, both my mom and dad, came to the United States to work. So I was left in the Philippines with my two younger sisters. They were 14 and 9 at that time. So I kind of raised them by myself. I was going to college. Of course, my parents sent money to us, but I was there to help raise my sisters. So, with that being said, a lot of, we had to go through with everything that I went through with my parents, especially with my mom, with that very complicated relationship. Um, but praise God, He has a plan for me. So eventually in 2010, I came here, I met my husband, we get married. And that's also another part of my story is um, intercultural relationship and marriage was
Okay.
very, very hard. I came here and, not just culture shock, but the just everything was different. And marriage in itself is hard, right?
Yes.
We know that and all these crazy things happening right now, but the added layer of coming from a different cultural background, values. The first 5 years of my marriage was very, very tough. Of course, you add children into that, right?
I'm sure. Yes.
Oh, so that's a lot. I'm sharing this and you'll understand later because I have four coaching pillars. So and then I worked as a nurse and this was in Pennsylvania. My husband's from Pennsylvania,
Okay.
a small town. And so because I came from the Philippines and the way we were trained there is different. And I came here, that's another layer of adjustment working in the hospital. Um, I also unfortunately went through toxic environment, bullying at the workplace. It was hard.
Mm.
I
Wow.
remember, yeah, I remember driving home just crying and you question yourself like what am I doing? Like am I supposed to be here? Like I feel like fish out of water.
Okay.
But long story short, we moved from Pennsylvania to the Chicagoland area suburbs because there was not actually, to be honest, the real reason was I told my husband I don't think I can work in this hospital anymore. I'm not saying everybody there was like that, but it was just very hard. And it was hard for me to find a job because it's such a small town. And so we moved to a bigger area, bigger city, and finally I was able to find another job. So that's another part of my coaching program is helping nurses who are burned out, who are going through toxic hospital environment. I can't even imagine the last time I was at the bedside was 2014. So imagine that's 11 years ago. And I can't imagine
Wow.
now, what they're going through. So I want to help nurses. Of course, if you love what you're doing at the bedside, that's great. But if you want help, if you need help and assistance, how to get out of the toxic environment to find a work from home or remote job. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so that's part of my coaching is helping my fellow nurses to find that freedom, the work-life balance, because let's face it, we only have one body. When we're
Right.
so stressed every day, you just don't realize it's really affecting your health. So that's the third one. And the last one, so my first one was I think I shared was the forgiveness coaching. It's really healing and transformation coaching because of what I went through with my parents. And then I have it's called marriage reset coaching, really focusing on intercultural or
Okay.
interracial marriages because that's what I went through as well. So the third layer of my coaching is helping my fellow nurses find a job that can really free them from that very hard environment at work. And last but not the least, I'm in my 40s. So
Okay.
um, I realized that for us women in the 40s, we probably, our children maybe have grown a little bit, or maybe you're an empty nester. And sometimes you don't even know who you are anymore. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay, I was a wife, I'm a mom. Well, my children are grown. Now what? Now,
Right.
what do I do, right? So I went through that myself. So it's like, wow. So this is why I'm sharing this because again, it wasn't in my radar to become a life coach. But when I
Wow.
realized that, wow, God has given me all these talents and my experiences that I can help others, I realize that there are so many things we can discover about ourselves. So that's my fourth layer is the rediscovery coaching program, helping our 40 plus women not just heal, but really know their God given purpose and have clarity because there's really something more. So that's
That
really how I.
I love it. It's interesting because you took all the things in your all the hardships in your life, and you turned it into something purposeful, which is helping others and serving others
Yes.
in four different areas. And
Mhm.
and I love the fact that you know which areas you operate in because you can, because you went through it and your heart is like driven toward
Mhm.
transformation in that area because of what you have been through. That's amazing. To do that. When it comes to forgiveness, let's talk about that a little bit.
Mhm.
A lot, that's a very touchy subject most of the time.
It is.
What is it that you feel that keeps people from stepping into the area of forgiveness to move forward,
Oh,
if
that's
that makes
huge.
sense.
It
I know,
does.
I know.
It really does. It's huge. And just like you
Mhm.
said, I think in all walks of life, no matter how maybe young you are or maybe even how
Mhm.
old you are, like, right? I mean, I when I work with hospice, I remember when I see family dynamics change when somebody is gravely dying. That's when
Mm,
all the family dynamics, like all these things come up. Sometimes we go through the motions that the family is maybe okay, but then somebody's dying, then all the things that they were kind of not even dealing with. And then there's the aspect of resentment, bitterness,
yes.
and then anger, even in the process of grieving. So, with regards to your question, so when I remember back how I went through my life, and again, I grew up. I'm the oldest of three girls, and
Okay.
I really realized at that time, why didn't I have any older siblings? Because I felt I had no ally when I was going through
Okay.
what the with my mom. And I'm not gonna lie, even growing up, I thought I've forgiven her. We had a lot of
Hmm.
conversations, but then the triggers, right?
Right.
There's the triggers. And I also just want to say this, in the Philippines, mental health is not really talked about so much.
Oh wow, I'm
It's
surprised.
not. Yeah, it really isn't. I'm hoping. I mean, I think they're starting now, getting more exposure and really awareness. Huge thing of awareness that it is a huge thing. But then during my time, 80s, 90s, nobody talks about that. Like, so when you're
Okay.
going through something as hard as abuse, for years, who do you turn to, right?
Right.
And when I went to nursing school, that's when I started learning. I went to a American Christian school in the Philippines, which I'm grateful for. That's when it really dawned on me, like, wow, I went through trauma. You didn't
Right.
even know it yourself. Of course, the pain was there, but you don't. It's like you don't even know how to handle it. So going back to your question about the forgiveness thing is, it can look different for everyone. But
Hmm.
one thing I wanted to say is, for me, I'm a Christian, and when I became a born again Christian in 2009, that really changed my perspective of the forgiveness part, because when I realized that I was a sinner myself and I was forgiven completely, the paradigm shifted in my head.
Okay.
Even though there were still the triggers, but now I learned that I can love my mother from afar, and that boundaries are huge. So it didn't happen very quickly, but I learned through the years. Why am I saying this? Because last year is the very first time I went home to the Philippines. 14 years after I came here.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my dad is still there and my sister is still there. But my mom and my other sister are in Chicago. So anyway, so my mom's still in Chicago. We left Chicago. That's a whole different story, but we transferred from Chicago to North Carolina. We've been here in North
Okay.
Carolina since 2019. And the biggest trigger for that is really to make sure I have boundaries with her. And and that was part of the forgiveness part, because sometimes people think forgiveness is waiting for that person to really say sorry to you,
Yes, that's true. A
right?
lot of people do think that. That's
Like
a
they wait,
fallacy,
and I
right?
think yeah, right? And they wait like, you know what? I can't forgive until this person really said sorry to me. I love what I think it's Lewis Smedes. If I hope I'm right. It says forgiving is setting a prisoner free and realizing that the prisoner is you.
Yes. Because you're
Right?
really doing it for yourself, right?
It
Because
is.
you hold all the toxation of it if you hold on to unforgiveness.
It's so true. It's so true. And medically, there's a lot of studies. Truly, if there's so much bitterness and resentment and unforgiveness in our hearts,
Hmm.
it actually makes us sick physically.
Right.
Right? Because causes our blood pressure to raise up when we're triggered, and then um unfortunately there's this, well, cortisol is needed in our body, but if there's too much of it, that causes our immunity to be weakened because we're
Yes.
susceptible, right? So it's
Yes.
really not good for us physically, mentally, emotionally if we hold on to bitterness and resentment and unforgiveness. So I understand this so much. So going back to when we went home to the Philippines in September, I was a little worried because then I will be, I'll be with my mom and facing.
Hmm.
But one thing happened, and I truly believe was God ordained, was that the first day I was there, I just went straight to the room of my parents, and out of nowhere, I just said to them, "I'm sorry." That came from me. I'm sorry because I don't know if maybe I just said sorry. I hugged my mom and I said sorry to my dad and I hugged him. That was it. Of course, I cried and bawled like a baby.
Right.
But since then, I can feel like all this thing was lifted up. Like, it's like clean slate. Um, and thank God we were there for three weeks with my family and it went well. But I also understand I have to continue with the boundary, right? With
Okay.
setting healthy boundaries with them. So that's huge, right? Because sometimes people think, okay, if I forgive this person, then I have to have a relationship with this person. That's not necessarily
Right. People
true.
do think that. Yeah.
Right. I know it's hard, especially when it's really close to us, when it's really like it might be a spouse, a sibling, or a parent, right? It is
Yes.
hard. But that's why I feel like boundaries is so important. We can love them. I always say we can
Right.
love them from afar, but we don't give them that opportunity. They can't cross that line because we have to protect our peace. But yeah, sorry, I said a
So
lot.
no, 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 no. This is good. Um, when you went to them and said sorry,
Hmm.
wait, what was the sorry coming from? Was it coming from a place of like, I'm sorry as I'm following the scripture sorry, or am I following what did you feel sorry? What was the sorry coming from? If you don't mind me
Right.
asking.
No, no, it's okay because that's a great question. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't planning to do that. I
Right, okay.
wasn't planning to
You
do
were
that.
led to do that. Okay.
I was led. I was led to do that because my prayer before going there was, Lord, I really just want to have a good time with my family. It's our vacation. I don't want any tension, but I wasn't planning to really do that. Um, I think the sorry because I'm not going to lie because of the resentment. Even though how many years had passed, when there's triggers, then it's like opening up the wound and the scars,
All
right?
over again,
All
yes.
over again, and even if even if I know that they did something wrong to me, I might have said something wrong back. I mean, they are still my parents. And it's not excusing them. And it's not even excusing me, but truly, I also know I did something wrong. And that's just what came into my mind. Like, you know what? I can only own up to myself. I picture myself, I'm in this circle, and the only person inside that circle is myself. And I can only control me. So
Yes.
So that's really what
I am
happened.
so glad for that clarity because forgiveness has so many layers. You know,
Mm,
the layers and to say sorry, you recognize that you were sorry for the resentment you were holding
yes.
and bitterness.
Hmm.
Those two are in forgiveness are cousins. I call
Correct.
them cousins. They related
True. So
in such
true.
a in such a way that you is where it's hard to step into that part. And when you own up to your part, I love how you said that you only responsible for how you respond to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lo- you know, and you're right, the taxation of it can be damaging to your health when it comes to forgiveness, because a lot of people do feel like forgiveness means that I have to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest hurdle to
Mm-hmm.
cross. It's like, or what is the other one? They're getting
For
away with it.
right, right, right. They think that when you forgive, you're condoning what they did. That's
Right.
not it. Um, it really is yourself. You're basically releasing yourself and releasing that person from what they can actually. But that you okay? I forgot. There's this. And I'm trying to remember it. It's like releasing that person from the debt that they have on you, or that
Mhm.
because you feel it, right? Let's face it. If somebody hurt us, we feel that hey, they owe us something. They owe us an explanation. They
Yeah,
owe us
it's
an
yeah,
apology,
absolutely. We feel like
which is valid,
justice.
right?
We all
Yeah,
want justice. Yes.
exactly, exactly,
Hmm.
which is valid because there was something wrong done. And but that's the thing. In a perfect world, right?
That we
In a
don't live in, right?
right? In a perfect world, that would be so amazing. That would be so
Yes.
amazing. And when you get that, that would be so amazing. However, if you're just waiting for that, I've seen people in their 80s, in their
Mm.
deathbed, that haven't talked to their young children or their spouse or whatever because of the bitterness. And you see it in themselves. Like, you see it in their eyes, like, the pain is still there. And then they're in their 80s and 90s. And again, I am not degrading, or I'm not, like, the pain itself is
Minimizing,
real,
yeah.
right? It's real. It's so real. The pain is real. And that's when I'm not I'm not gonna lie, because I really didn't do it on my own strength. When I forgave, is like I really have to let it go. I have to let it go and let God really truly heal me from the inside out. But I also wanted to talk about a little bit about the forgetting part. Be,
Okay. But
be,
before you get to that, I got
okay.
another. No.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
you know what? Actually, it may connect. It may connect. If it do, just go ahead with it. But how do you get your clients
Hmm.
to get over that hurdle when it comes to, matter of fact, it is related to what you're about to talk about, when it comes to forgetting,
Hmm.
forgetting what happened, or I would say not, I wouldn't say forgetting. How do you get them to move from where they are to forgiveness, even when they don't want to, and
Hmm.
they may not understand
Right.
the Christian aspect of it? That's my question.
Right, right. So that's a great question. So I'm very upfront with regards to my coaching program, that I am coaching in a biblical principle, biblical sense. So, with that being said, of course, I'm not saying I'm only catering to our Christian sisters, right? Not
Mhm.
really. But when my clients come in, I do ask them, is it okay? Is it okay if they do know? I mean, when they read my bio and all that, but I also talk about, faith is so important to me, but I wanna make sure that you're okay with that. Now, with that being said, when faith, let's for example, if faith is not in the picture, there's still a lot of things we can go through, because it is just like you said, it's a layer, right?
Yes.
Peeling those layers one by one is so important, because even for me, I'm not going to lie, I thought I truly have forgiven my mom. Like, I thought, like, a while ago,
Right.
but then something happens and you're like, ooh, there's still the sting. So it is a journey, it is a process. And I always say, I'm very transparent with my clients that, hey, if it's really laying down everything, it's laying down, okay, sometimes it's all in our head too. Like, what stops us is our mindset. But
Yes.
But if they are ready, because we all have a
Yes.
choice. We all
We
have a
all have a
choice.
choice. Yes, we do.
Yes, because I
Power
can,
of choice.
yes, because I can tell them everything that I have went through, but if they are not ready, I can't force them, right? We
Right.
we
Right.
can't. So it's their willingness to, do you want to go through this or not? I mean, truly, it is your choice. And the moment they do that discovery call, of course, that's why discovery call is so huge, right? I
Right.
think that's when you understand, that's when they know also that you're a good fit. Um, but it is a journey, and you're there to like help them peel the layers
Yes.
of
Peel
what's
the
going
onion.
on. Peel the onion. That's all,
Yes.
there'll be lots of tears, just like when we're doing the onion, but it's really getting to that transformation. That's why it's so
Yes.
huge to like, we're
It's powerful.
transforming. Yeah, it is.
It's
It.
freeing. Is yeah. So go to the forgetting part. Let's talk about that.
Oh, so the forgetting part for me personally, the weirdest thing that happened was I didn't needed to forget. I
Exactly.
I didn't even because I thought I had to forget to forgive, but not necessarily. Not necessarily. So now when I remember, it just I also go back to our mindset, right? It's the shifting of our mind. Okay, when I
Mhm.
remember that this happened, now I understand why. Or if I remember what this happened, oh, this is how I dealt with it and it was good. Or on the other hand, this is how I dealt with it and it wasn't good. So it's more of like going back inwards and reflecting like, okay, so do I really want to keep on thinking about that? Because I think that's what people get so, and it's natural, get stuck
Yes.
because of the remembering part, and not forgetting. But
Yes.
again, going back to our
Because the
choice,
triggers
the
cause you to
triggers,
remember.
that triggers.
Yes.
Uh, and I'm gonna share this because it just happened with my sister recently, and now I have two younger sisters, so
Mhm.
all of us went through the same thing in different degrees.
Okay.
Okay, so. And of course, we have different personalities. But why am I saying this? Because and my other sister still has, the way she copes with what we went through is different the way I cope. So I'm just
Okay.
helping her. And she even said those, like, I wish I can deal with it like you do. I said, no, you have to process it the way you understand it, right? And I'm here for you. I'm here to help you. But the processing, the emotions, the everything, it's in our, we are built differently. That's why I think also, I'm glad you mentioned that when we have clients, it's really good to know that, is it a good fit or not. um
Yes.
right, it's huge.
It's huge because they
Mhm.
growth is attached, their transformation is attached to the good fit.
Correct,
Mhm.
exactly. Yeah, so.
And you know what? It's interesting because I, when, because I had to forgive different
Mm.
people at different times.
Mm.
And each time was different
Hmm.
because the layers were different. I
Right.
think one of the things that we have to remember, we carry the attributes
Mm.
within us
Love it.
that God has.
Yes.
We just haven't tapped into all of them based on our journey, right?
Right.
Like, for instance, the need for justice,
Mm.
that's an attribute,
It is.
but it can be used as a weapon. And we don't
Correct.
want to weaponize injustice, right?
Hmm.
And so when you think about the honoring, how do you honor? And it's the question for you. How do you honor your clients with the injustice that was done?
I love that question. Telling them that it was real. It happened. It happened. It was real. Because unfortunately, for people who went through abuse, especially, right?
Mhm.
We are gaslit so many times.
Yes.
The gaslighting,
It's
it,
huge.
it could be years. It could be years of
Yes.
gaslighting, right? And
Mhm.
and thinking like, oh, maybe I was imagining it, or maybe it was my fault. All those doubts and just going through hoops in your mind that really makes you
Mhm.
stuck. And you telling your client that that was real, your pain was real, and we're not here to discount that because it is real. And even if maybe how many years ago, that's why it's really important to walking with them, right? It's not like you're
The
ahead of
journey,
them.
yes.
Yeah. Walking with their journey, it's not that you're ahead of them or you're behind them. You're literally next to them. That's why coaches are so important. And I
Yes.
also wanted to make sure I point this out because people maybe not understanding. I always say go to counseling because
Yes.
counseling and coaching works
Are
together
different. Yeah,
hand
they
in
do work
hand,
together hand in
right? But
hand.
they're different, right? With
Hmm.
counseling, I went through a lot of counseling also because you need also someone professional who to deal with that trauma and to really heal you in that trauma. Because for us coaches, we're really here moving forward, right? We're future oriented.
Hmm.
We're here to
Yes.
help you, but we're future oriented. We're going to give you tools. However, you do need, if you truly, depending on how, well, I believe everybody should need counseling. This is for my Filipino friends. Okay. Like, we need to really talk about mental health. It's not
It's
wrong.
huge. Yes.
It's not
It's
wrong to,
amazing
it's amazing,
to
right? It's
do it.
not
It's
wrong.
actually brave. It's actually that's where your strength is. It's amazing.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. And you'll find your voice because let's face it,
Yes.
so many people who were in abusive relationship, no matter parent, husbands or whatever, wives, you're kept on the dark. Like, right? Like it seems like you feel you lose your voice. But when you go and seek that help, the professional help, not just counseling but also coaching, you find your voice. And this is why I absolutely love what we're doing, Martha, is we can be here with them. It's such an honor.
Yes. Such an
And
honor.
it's such an honor and just being here and we're your personal cheerleaders, you know.
Yes.
But it
Because it's
is
not easy and you
it's not
don't know the layers sometimes. Like
right,
it starts with injustice, the first layer.
right, 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 exactly. That there was something did this to you and they shouldn't have done it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I asked you a question of how you honor your clients.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting because because of the fact that I was able to process my level of forgiveness for other people in different areas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize how powerful it is to have your clients list
Mm,
what they've been through
mm,
and write it down. Like, what did this person do to you? And
mm,
and let them know that you honor them in that, and that you
mm-hmm.
see them in that, and
Mm-hmm.
that you're not minimizing it,
Correct.
but you want to walk them through that journey of like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, that was done to you. I, I didn't realize how powerful that was on how it made them think about somebody acknowledging it and it was wrong and they not crazy.
Exactly.
That is that I didn't realize that
Mm.
just that part of it is what they needed in that layer
Mm-hmm.
is to acknowledge I'm not crazy.
Exactly.
This really did happen to me and it was
Mm-hmm.
unjust.
Right.
That's the first layer of recognizing because there's questions going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Was I right? Was I wrong? Am I thinking crazy? Why they keep doing this to me? Especially with the gaslighting,
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
right?
It, it's huge because then you start questioning
You
like,
question yourself,
yeah,
right?
you question yourself and then you also ask yourself like, okay, did I put this on myself? Right?
Right.
I mean,
That's
it's
what you usually put it all, you go inward and started blaming
right.
yourself.
Ah, yes. Yes,
And you can't,
exactly.
that's why forgiveness ain't just let it go. It's
Mm,
let's walk through the journey of it.
exactly. It's definitely a
Yes.
process. It's
Yes, it's a process.
it's everybody goes through it differently, and that's why when you choose, for your audience, when they choose their coaches, it's really important that they have that right fit. because
Yes.
one coach might be good for another and the other might be, might not be. So, and we're gifted in different ways, which is,
Yes,
I
we are,
love it.
which is
So I
great.
love, it's great, right? We all have our gifts and we all have different, the way we deal with things, the way we talk to each other. It's just when you know though, right? It's like it's so weird. It's like a marriage. I don't know how to explain it.
Yes.
It's like, oh, you know what? Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. So I find it so beautiful when we do those discovery calls and you're like,
Yes. Here's the
it's
ultimate question for you.
uh-huh.
Here's the big one. No, no, I'm
Okay.
just kidding. Okay. So how do you get your clients to really understand the concept Christian from a believer perspective
Mm-hmm.
of forgiveness, how it's done in the right way to get them to integrate what they have to forgive into
Mm-hmm.
the hand, until into the concept that the biblical principles of it,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. How do you get
It
them to move from that?
so so this is,
Because
it's funny.
you were able to do it. How do you get
Right.
them to do it?
Right. It's important to understand, I think, is that it's always personalized coaching, right? When we're coaching somebody, that's why for me each program is different. Like there might be 4 weeks coaching, there might be 8 weeks, there might be 6 months. It really truly depend on where my client is and what issues they need help with, right? And that there's a lot of discovering, even not just for the client but for myself, like
Okay.
how can I truly help this person. And I'm also one of the for me, I'm because I'm transparent. If I don't know the answer, I'm gonna tell you, right? I'm gonna
Right.
be upfront and honest with you. But because my faith, my Christian faith is so it's central, it's core on who I am.
Yes.
um when I realized, when Jesus said, forgive because you were forgiven, or, if you don't forget, your father will not forgive you. Your father in heaven will not forgive you. And
Yeah,
it's
that's powerful.
that is powerful. So for me, that really, that if I don't have that, how about this? If I don't have that in my head right now, I don't think I can ever. It will be so hard because it's core to me. And um and that's the beauty of walking with our clients, is that I'm not going to to influence you. I don't know if that's the word.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not going
Yeah.
to influence you to take what I really believe, but I'm
Right.
going to share what I went through, and if that resonated with you, then that's amazing. But this is your journey, and if you truly believe that I can help you, because of course I would love, but that's the thing, it really has to be mutual. It's a choice. And
Yes.
right. And we're just here to really show our clients, hey, this I went through and this how I go through this. I would love to journey with you. And when we discover more, amazing. It,
I
it's
like that.
just
Yeah.
right. And it's just giving that transformation depending on who they are. In nursing, we call it holistic nursing.
Hmm.
We don't just take care of um symptoms. We don't just take
Right.
care of, we go to the root. The root.
Yes, the root.
What is the root? We have to dig. That's why it's
We
a
got to
layer,
dig
right?
deep into the root
Yeah.
causes. Yes,
The
dig up
root,
the root so
the
that.
root, dig up the
Mhm.
root, dig up the root, because just like weeds, I love gardening. And now I'm so busy, it's like I have to keep up with all those weeds. But you realize when the weeds, right, you have to
Mhm.
really dig it, like root.
Yes.
If not, the weeds will come
Or
back.
else they're gonna grow back. Yes.
I know, I
Love the
right.
analogy. Love.
Yeah.
I'm not a gardener, but I love that analogy.
Oh my gosh, you like pull it like two
Yes.
hands, like so uprooting any kind
Uprooting.
of bitterness,
Yes.
resentment, anything that's just deep. And how many years we don't know, right? But truly, the digging, the uprooting, it's good to have somebody with you.
Yes. And I love the fact that you have done it. You've done the work yourself, so you understand the heart of it. And
Mhm.
it's really getting your clients to move from the head to the heart. Intellectually we can say it,
Yes,
but
yes.
it gotta go to the heart so that the transformation can take
Transformation.
place.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that's really awesome. Tell us about you, an author. Tell us about your book.
Oh,
What's
thank
the
you.
title and tell us about it?
Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but maybe not. This is
I
my
see
copy.
it. Rise
Yeah, so
with
it's called Rice with Purpose.
purpose. Okay, I
It's
see it. I
not
see
super
purpose.
thick, right? It's really a workbook. So it's a biblical
Okay.
workbook for building resilience, growing in faith, and living your God-given calling. I'm
Love
so
it.
passionate about this because I feel again for especially us women, um, we need to know what is our purpose
Mhm.
beyond our titles, beyond
Yes.
wife, mother, grandmother. There's more. There's more.
Yes.
So yeah, so in this book, I have what I call my RISE framework, that they can reflect on their journey, find their identity in Christ, securing their calling, and being equipped to act and live their purposeful, God-given calling. So it's an
Okay.
Amazon. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. We'll put the links in your video.
Thank
So
you.
so what do you have going on for the future? Anything that you're excited about?
Oh, amazing. Oh my goodness, Martha. So just like I said, I feel like God just dumped it all on me in 1 month. I did my
Oh, he
coaching.
will do that. He'll give
I
you a big
know,
job,
right?
a big job that you
Oh,
definitely need him for, right?
one thing though, I'm gonna share because I work since 2018. I've been working at home. I always feel isolated
Mhm.
and moving from one place to another. And one day I just said, Lord, I mean, what else you want me to do? Like I don't know what else. So, and then he put this on my heart, and it's like, wow, I don't even know what to do. Just
Right.
lead me. So, within a month, it's crazy. It just blows my mind. So, within a month, I launched my coaching business. I launched a YouTube channel. I wrote my book, and I did a podcast in 1 month.
Mhm. All right now. All right
I
now.
I'm like I'm not gonna lie. It's all the Holy Spirit just like, okay, da, 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 da. But of course once we're on our mission, so I always say we're overcomers, right? When we're on our mission, the enemy, of course, also wants you to not be on mission. So
He
I
don't want
do
you helping nobody.
no, mm-mm,
That would be
because
hell horrible.
oh, right? So that's why I'm so passionate helping our especially us women that we do have an assignment. We have a calling. Again, there's nothing wrong that you're a mom, you're a wife, or a grandmother. You're doing your thing, but
The
there is
roles
still
you
more.
play.
Yes, the roles we play, and there's so much more because I would remember there's some of my clients that I coach, and they would realize like, oh, I forgot. I really love to paint. The things that we forget when we're raising our children and going through the
Yes.
motions of motherhood, and it's like, oh my gosh, I really wanted to paint and brings me joy, and that's the thing. We do have that. Each one of us, like Miss Martha right here, she's amazing. She's an amazing life coach. She's using her voice in this platform. And this is why I love meeting our clients that we can empower them. I call it mobilizing the
Yes.
church.
I
Mobilizing
like
our
that.
women.
I like that.
We
Yes.
mobilize. Let's go.
I like that. That's
So
awesome.
that's really I'm doing everything right now, the podcast, YouTube, coaching, of course raising our boys, growing up too fast. Thankful that my spouse, my husband is very supportive, so that's huge also. Yeah, and still working full time Monday to Friday 8 to 5.
Wow, you doing tell us about the podcast. What's the name of it?
Oh yeah, so my podcast I do have two.
Oh
The
wow,
first
you really
one,
working.
I know, I'm nuts. But the first one is it's called Rice Tayo. Tayo means us in Filipino. So I'm saying rice.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
rice tayo. It's you can find it in Apple podcast, Spotify. Rice Tayo podcast. I really wanted to give the voice for our Filipino Americans here. So that's my
Nice.
purpose, that showing their stories of resilience. You know, we come from different country, come here, all the things that we went through, because there's a lot of things that we can learn and share to others, how we go through this life. So that's really the highlight of that podcast, Rice
Oh,
Tayo.
that's nice.
Yeah, so I just want to give them a voice also, that to share, because we there's so many of us here and sometimes we feel so homesick and
Oh,
and
okay.
we can listen to our brothers and sisters, our kababayans, we call them our kababayans, who are from or maybe they just came to this country and so they don't know anybody, stuff like that. So that's one, that's Rice Tayo. And the second one is The Anointed Life with Coach Blanche, and it's really my baby. And this is where I really just talk about faith and encouragement, about healing, about forgiveness, about marriage, things about marriage, and being just following Jesus, really pointing people to
Awesome.
Jesus. So there, there's my
Awesome. You're doing some amazing things. I love it. And I
thank you.
just want to just say, Blanche, it's been such a pleasure having you on my podcast. And, I just want to just give you, one more question. I did say that was the ultimate question, but this is the last question, right? What is one piece of advice you want to leave the audience with?
Oh my gosh, put me in the spot. So you're an overcomer. You don't quit, you don't give in. And why am I saying we're an overcomer? Revelations 12:11. You overcome him, the enemy, by the blood of the lamb and the word of your testimony, and you do not love your lives to the death. So when we know we have that authority to trample on snakes, right? When we use our authority in Jesus, we can do everything. The enemy wants you defeated, but nope, you're an overcomer. You do not give up. You do not give in.
All right, that's mic drop advice. No. You are absolutely correct. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much, Blanche, for sharing your wisdom on my podcast. And it's been truly a blessing dialoguing with you. I love the fact that you are coaching in the area of forgiveness because people need it. It's very toxic and we need help. And it's a lot of people need help in that area. So thank you for what you're doing with all the pillars that you're doing. And just wanted to say to the audience, if you feel like this has been helpful, please do share and subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. And also, remember, I always have amazing people on my podcast. So, and I always want to introduce them to you. So check us out every Monday, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you so much, Blanche, for, coming on. I really appreciate it.
The pleasure is mine, Martha, and I pray blessings over everything you do. Thank you, thank you, thank you
Thank
for your
you. And
heart.
I do the same
Thank
for
you.
you. So to everyone, happy Monday and continue to do what you're doing. And in the world, when you're helping people, serving people, continue to do it. Have a wonderful Monday. And we are signing off.
It's your time to shine. Journey to chart. Coach Rice wisdom will heal every heart. So join us now. Let's make life suffice. Welcome to Mondays with Coach Rice.